Hello friends! In this video I will talk about learning objectives. You will learn what learning objectives are, and you will see how learning objectives can be used to help you study. What are learning objectives? Learning objectives, sometimes referred to as learning outcomes, are the statements that clearly describe what students are expected to achieve as a result of instruction. These learning objectives are like a roadmap. These objectives outline the key ideas and concepts that students should learn during the lesson or lab. Learning objectives start with a verb. This means that the students should be able to complete that action as a result of the instruction. How can you use learning objectives? Reading the learning objectives before class can give you a preview of what the instructor will cover. This is a great strategy to help you get in the mindset for the lesson. After the lesson or lab, the learning objectives can be used in several ways. For example, learning objectives can be a checklist of topics to study. As you create your notes, you can use key ideas from the learning objectives to help you organize your notes. One way you could do this is to make a list of all the key terms and concepts from the learning objectives. Next, go through your notes, the ones you took in class or from reading your textbook, and highlight all of the key terms and concepts. Learning objectives can also help you to make notes. For example, some learning objectives could be used as headings for an outline or a section in Cornell Notes. If the learning objective is students should be able to describe the characteristics all living organisms share, you can make characteristics of all living organisms the header. Next, list and describe each of the characteristics of life. Learning objectives can provide practice. Many of the learning objectives are worded in a way that they can be used as test questions. You can use the learning objectives to test your knowledge before an exam or to create your own questions. Let's look at an example. One of the learning objectives is students should be able to compare and contrast the two types of cells. This can be a short answer question on an exam. In your notes, or at the end of your notes, you can add this learning objective and then write out your response. Here's the start of an answer. All cells have a cell membrane, ribosomes that make proteins, and... Quick note, when you're writing out these learning objective answers, make sure you use complete sentences and complete thoughts. This will help you to better grasp and understand the concepts. A fourth way that learning objectives can be used is to create a study guide. Study guides come in many shapes and forms. They can use the learning objectives to fill in details from the instructional materials to create note-like study guides. You can also use the study guide to make your own practice questions. Here's another example. The learning objective is students should know the difference between objective and subjective. Yima wrote a few statements. Everyone loves cheese pizza. Sushi is gross. In the cafeteria, 50% of students chose soda over water last night. Yima is working with a study group. She asks her friends Amir and She, "Hey friends, which of the statements are objective?" Her friends talk it over before answering the third one. Learning objectives are a great way for you to study, prepare yourself for exams, and organize your notes. Learning objectives are provided by your instructor, so be sure to look into these, open up those documents, and start studying.